Hey peeps, welcome back. We're talking The Real Housewives of New Jersey, season 14, episode 9. So happy early 4th of July. I hope everyone has a happy, safe 4th of July. Enjoy your family, the fireworks, the good food. So let's get into the show. So Teresa and Gia are talking, and they're talking about the fight that happened the night before. And Teresa says that she doesn't know how it started. And I know a lot of people were on the blog saying that Teresa was lying, but the truth is, when you rewatch it, right when Jen goes to shove Danielle, Teresa's head is turned. So she didn't actually see the shove. She's telling Gia that she really wants for her two friends to make up. She wants Jen and Danielle to be friends again. She's going to see if she can bridge the gap and get them to have a conversation. Gia tells her, and I have to agree with her, once you put hands on somebody, it's a wrap. You know, as far as I'm concerned, if I get into it with someone, I don't want to be friends. We're not going to be friends. This isn't something that I would even consider. We're not about to ever be friends. It's just not going to happen. When they go over to Danielle's house, she's super excited. She's relaunching her Bougie Kids line, and she's really excited, and I'm really happy for her. She has accomplished a lot in a couple of short years. I think that a lot of it has to do with her being on the show, but she has put in a lot of work and a lot of time, so I think she has the right to be proud of herself. She says that everybody's invited except for Jennifer, and she said that her and Jennifer's relationship, as far as she's concerned, and I'm paraphrasing, is completely over. She feels like Jen was dragging her and trying to destroy her reputation, so she's over the friendship with Jen. She also explains a little bit about why she thinks that Jen was upset with her and the whole Lena situation. She says that on the night of the party, her charity event, she said Jen reached out to her to say that she was going to bring that Laura girl, and she didn't want Laura to go. Now, I don't know if Laura is a good person or not. I don't really know the full backstory of her, only the hearsay that we got from Jen. And then I guess she was talking to a few of the blogs, and she was, shading Melissa and Marge. But Danielle said she didn't want to have any parts to it. She said that at that time she was friends with Jennifer, but she was also friends with Marge and Melissa, and she didn't want to have Laura there. And I can't really blame her in that incident. If I'm trying to be friends with everyone, and then all of a sudden I invite Laura, then it looks as if me and Jennifer are colluding with Laura to get information about Melissa and Margaret. And I don't think that I would want to do that. So I don't really blame Danielle for not wanting Laura to be at the event. Danielle believes that the reason that Jen wanted to come after her or make all these comments about her is because she realizes that she can't be used anymore. I don't know. I think that she has a few points. I mean, we did see Jen try to drop some gems on Danielle last season to get her to bring the stuff up on the show to Melissa. So maybe Danielle has just said, you know what? I'm not going to do this now. I'm not going to allow you and Laura to feed me a whole bunch of information in the hopes that I'm going to go back and share it. Maybe that's why Danielle didn't want Laura there. However, I do like Danielle's husband. I think Nate is so calm, so level-headed. He is doing everything he can to smooth things over with her and her dad, and I absolutely hope that everything works out. He asked her, would you like me to talk to your dad about inviting him to your relaunch? And she said, yeah. I thought that it was great that he asked before he just went and talked to her father. But I think that they can put this back together. They can rebuild this relationship. It turns out that her father was asked. He did decide to come, but at the last minute, he thought that he may have COVID. He wasn't feeling well, so he wasn't able to make the event. I'm hoping that they can continue to push their relationship into a positive space. So Dolores has decided that she's going to go ahead and go into business with Paulie. I personally think that that's a bad idea, and I think it's going to come back that she made a mistake there. She told Paulie that after that night at Teresa's house with the girls fighting, if she did have a job, she would have called in, and Paulie says, no, you would have called out. And I thought, the whole time that I've been working, we always said call in. Peeps, get down in the comments. Is it calling in or is it calling out? Because we've always said we're calling in. I don't know. Get down in the comments. Maybe it's an Ireland thing. Dolores then makes the comment that she's curious if Marge and Melissa know what went down at the party. And I said, oh, please. Jen Fessler was there. I'm pretty sure that Marge and Melissa knows what happened. Rachel then calls Dolores because Lord knows she wants to know what the hell is going on. She said that she saw something in the blogs, and then she makes this comment that, you know, Teresa and Jennifer is always leaking information to the blogs. I think that Rachel also leaks information to the blogs, and I think we all know that Marge totally leaks everything to the blogs. One thing that I was happy to see, now I always say that I'm not a fan of Rachel, I'm not a fan of the Fudas, but I love it when Rachel is with her children. She is really good with all three of her kids, but I also appreciate her showing us her spending time with children who have juvenile arthritis. And it's kind of embarrassing for me to admit it, but I never once in my life thought about juvenile arthritis. It's ignorant on my part that I always just assumed that people who had arthritis were older, you know, in their late 40s and up, you know what I mean? So I'm glad that she's showing this on television because there's probably other ignorant people like myself who had no idea. And now you're opening our eyes to, you know, bringing attention to this. And my heart goes out to everyone who suffers with arthritis. I'm very thankful that Rachel was bringing this to all of our attention. The wedding was absolutely beautiful. Congratulations to them both. I could have used less Joe, but congratulations. Jen Fessler and Teresa stopped by Jennifer Aiden's house, and Jennifer is saying that her reaction to Danielle was in self-defense, and I have to say, no ma'am. I mean, I don't condone violence, and like I said in my last video, where I grew up, where I'm from, if you pop off and you're in somebody's face, you're pointing your fingers, you're going to get popped. Okay, there is no reprieve, nothing. You're going to get popped. You don't know how a person is going to react to you being in their face or being within their space. However, as a grown-up, there were options on both sides. First of all, Jen is always fly at the mouth. She's always talking. She could have said, Danielle, give me some space. You're in my face. Back up. She too could have also backed up. She also could have walked away from the situation. But she actually shoved Danielle. She did not just lightly push her the way she was trying to demonstrate with Teresa. No, you shoved the girl. And then she took her cup and smashed it in the side of your face. Later in the episode, Danielle tried to make it seem like she threw a drink on Jennifer. She couldn't have hit her because she had her cup in her hand, and her friend Tiffany standing next to her said, yeah, she threw her drink on her. No, she didn't. She took her entire hand with that cup in her hand and smashed it into that woman's face. So, I'm sorry, but no. Tell the truth how it really happened. Danielle also had a choice. When she shoved her, she could have just walked away as well. Personally, I'm going to admit it. Even though I don't condone violence, if she would have shoved me, I would have whooped her ass. I'm sorry. I know that violence is not the answer, and I know that I would have been embarrassed the next day. Actually, I would have been embarrassed instantly because of being physical with this woman and not just walking away from it. But it's something about when somebody puts their hands on me and it's unwanted and it was aggressive, you get aggressive. I'm sorry. And they talk a little bit about that charity situation, and Jen Fessler agrees with Jen Aiden, and I do too. If it's my idea, if I say, hey, you guys, I'm going to have this big party for St. Jude's, and I put on some sort of event for St. Jude's, I don't think that I have the right to pay myself back for my time because it was my idea to throw this charity event for St. Jude's. You know what I mean? So if Danielle really did that, which we don't know for sure that she did, that's all alleged. If she did pay herself back, I do think that was wrong. I don't think it was wrong for her to pay the vendors and then give all the rest of the money to charity. But I do think it would be wrong to pay all the vendors and then pay yourself something and then give the rest to charity. That to me would be wrong. Now, when she comes out and she makes the comments about the hair extension lady, Jen says that Danielle gets her hair extensions done for free from her stylist, and she felt that if they did the photo shoot and let the lady use their pictures for advertisement, they should have been paid. And Jen said she didn't think that was right because that lady does her hair and all of her extensions for free. Personally, I agree with that. A lot of you reality stars or social media influencers feel entitled to free stuff because they're popular. And I don't think that that's right. You're not entitled to anything free just because you're popular. Now, if you have 2 million subscribers, 3 million subscribers, and every time I do your hair, you post my beautiful work and you tag me and you let everybody know that I'm available, here's my information, then maybe every now and again I will do free stuff for you. But I don't think that you should get stuff for free every single time. I also appreciate that Jen called her out and said, I think you're also mad at her a little bit about the Laura situation because she didn't want you to invite Laura to her event. And I think that's exactly what it was. To me, I think that was part of Jennifer's storyline this season. She was going to try to bring in more information from Laura, and this is just my opinion. This is all alleged. I don't know that for fact. But in my thoughts, Jen was going to try to get more information from Laura through Danielle, because I don't think the people on the show were going to allow Laura on this season. I also think that Jen is still upset that her husband's business was not listed at the Step and Repeat. Jen got a little testy with Teresa because Teresa said she was going to go to the Bougie Kid launch and she's sorry that Jen's not going to be able to make it. Jen gets a little testy and says that she would never go to somebody's event if they had put their hands on Teresa. I said, girl, please. Melissa and Teresa have been through hell together. Teresa and Marge have been through hell together, but you still go to events with them. So back up on this. However, I do appreciate that Jen Fessler told Jen, she said, well, I'm glad that you're, going to be okay about Teresa going to Danielle's event, because I'm still getting all kinds of complaints and side eyes stating that I am an unloyal friend because I talked to Teresa. Marge finally gets her book from Jackie that she has been dying to get, and she's still complaining. Oh my gosh, a letter from the author, not personalized, as if I don't even know her. And then she was talking bad about me, trying to break up my friendship with Dolores. I said, girl, you are not the victim. You are absolutely not the victim here. You're lucky to even get the damn book. If I was Jackie, she would have never got that book. Now, the situation with Joe B., Marge's husband, I wish the very best for him. I pray nothing but good health and long life and happiness for Joe. My pawpaw passed away from prostate cancer, and that is a painful situation, and I would never wish that on my worst enemy. So I am wishing nothing but good vibes, good health, long life, and happiness for Joe B. Now, Danielle's bougie party, I thought it was so cute. It was just beautiful. Her party planner put a lot of thought into this, and it was just like a little wonderland for children, with all the bling, with all the balloons, all the balls, the candy. I thought it was cute. So Danielle explains to her friend Tiffany, Danielle, and Jennifer Fessler what triggered her at the party, and she said what triggered her at the party was Jen claiming that she stole from her charity. And they're trying to say that she didn't say that you stole from your charity. Okay, no, she didn't just come right out and say she stole from her charity, but it was implied. It was implied heavily that this woman was paying herself back, which equals stealing from the charity. Danielle then says something really ridiculous, in my opinion. She says that she's prayed to God that he has mercy on Jen's family when he sends down karma on her. And I said, first of all, that's not how karma works. And second of all, the Lord would never punish someone's children and husband for something that the wife may have done is just a bit too much. Why would you pray for karma on somebody? I mean, my opinion is when you wish bad for others, bad things happen to you. Don't do that. Jen Fessler says, gosh, really? She said, well, she didn't sleep with your husband. No, she didn't sleep with her husband, but she did, without saying it in those words, she did say she stole from that charity. And that can be damaging. It really can. It can be damaging locally, but you said it on a national television program, which would make other charities look at you. Did she really do that? You know what I mean? Now, when Danielle tried to act as if she didn't really swing on Jennifer, that's a lie. You swung on her. She pushed you aggressively and you swung on her aggressively. And, I don't blame you, but there were other actions that both of them could have done. Violence was not the answer. One thing that I did appreciate is Jen Fessler told her, she said, you're really upset with Jen, but you were a part of this too. And when you think about it, yeah, it really does take two people. Both of them didn't have to have that conversation right then. Both of them did have the opportunity to calm down. They could have lowered their voices. They could have moved off to the side and had this conversation. I do realize that Jen is the one who made it physical. And, Danielle was just giving her what she was given. So I do understand that. But both of them were involved here. They both had different choices and they decided that this was what they were going to do. And then she makes this comment to Jen Fessler that Jen Aiden was lucky she didn't knock her head off her shoulders. I don't think that was a good look. Okay, days have passed. Calm down. Then Rachel Fuda was still being a toddler. Teresa and Gia walk in. They're hugging. They're saying hi to everybody. Rachel walks off. Why, as an adult, you couldn't just say hello and keep it moving? Why run off? It's weird. Grow up. So Teresa tries to mend fences. She's trying to stand tall for Jen, but also trying to get Danielle to forgive Jen or at least agree to meet up and talk to her. She didn't say you stole from the charity. Yeah, she did. She said it, Teresa. Read between the lines. She absolutely said that. Danielle said, this is not going to be fixed. She doesn't want to be friends with Jennifer anymore. She thinks that Jennifer is an evil person and she's just not going to do it. So, of course, Rachel is offended that Jen Fessler would try to stick up for Jen in any way. She's totally upset by it. It's as if she has just stood up for Jen against Rachel or something. Rachel is totally against any siding with Teresa or Jennifer. Jen Fessler is not allowed to have her own mind. This is so crazy to me. I appreciate the fact that Jen Fessler is making up her own mind. She's doing her own thing and she's not being a soldier for Marge or Melissa. Gia does come to Jen and she asked her about the comment John Fuda made about her, and she says that she doesn't appreciate it. I don't blame her. I really don't. She says, why did he have to mention her name in the analogy? She has never done coke. She doesn't like the analogy, and she doesn't like her name being brought up. I don't think it's anything wrong with Gia saying that. She says if they want to make analogies, use their own children for it. Use themselves, use their wives for it. Why do they have to use her? And, Jen Fessler tries to calm everything down and tries to explain that she didn't think that John Fuda meant anything bad. He was just trying to compare. And maybe, he shouldn't have done that, but he didn't mean anything bad. Rachel gets all upset. She storms off. She doesn't want Jen sticking up for her husband. No, you don't want Jen talking to Teresa. This does not make sense. I'm hoping that when Rachel saw this episode, she realized just how crazy and rude and weird she was acting and sounding, storming off and getting mad at Jen. Jen didn't do anything. And then you have Melissa screaming, Gia should not be involved. She's a kid. She's a child. Why were you talking to this child about grown people business or something? I'm paraphrasing. First of all, Melissa, Gia is a college graduate who is 23 years old. You were 24 when you married her Uncle Joe. Were you a child? Were you a child's bride? You were a grown-ass woman who married your grown-ass husband. And Gia is grown too. And she has every right to say, is somebody saying something about me? And please ask them to stop. She had every right to do that. And I think that Jen Fessler had every right to say, no, I think you got this wrong. This wasn't exactly how it happened. But also at the same time, with Rachel being at the party, Gia could have walked over to Rachel and asked her as well. But I think Rachel storming off is like a baby move. Grow the hell up. And 9 times out of 10, she's going to be calling Jen Fessler, wanting to know if they could meet up and talk. And if I was Jen, I would say no. I'm tired of playing these games with you. I'm not going to meet you down at the sandbox and beg you for friendship. Grow the hell up. I wasn't doing anything wrong. I didn't say anything bad about your husband. I was trying to defend your husband. Marge getting involved. Please don't defend her husband. I know she doesn't want you to defend her husband. She doesn't want you to do. Marge, just shut the hell up. All of them are just acting ridiculous. They are just all crazy. I don't understand it. One simple, no, I'm sorry, I think you got the story wrong. He didn't mean anything wrong, and all hell breaks loose. The toddler storms out of the event. Just ridiculous. Anyway, peeps, get down in the comments and let me know what you think. And until next time, bye.